5 things not to say to a spouse who is leaving. So here's the thing. Everyone wants a playbook, right? Just tell me exactly what to say and what not to say so that things will work, so my spouse won't leave. So just tell me the exact words so I don't screw it up or overthink it, and everything will be good to go. That's what we want. And there's a lot of things out there that will say, text these exact messages to your spouse to get them to come crawling back. Or they'll say, get this playbook of exactly what to say to keep your spouse from breaking up with you. And I really, really hate to be the one to break it to you. But there are no magic words. There is no magic phrase. And there is definitely no text message with superpowers that you can send that will change everything and make anyone come crawling back to you. Which is why I'm not going to give you an exact phrase to say or not to say. Because the words that you use don't matter as much as the intention or the meaning behind them. And let's be honest, if I told you not to say, don't leave, then you would think, oh, okay, then I'll say, please stay. Same message, different words. And neither of them are going to focus on the underlying issue. Yes, it is a problem that your spouse is leaving or wants to leave or has left or whatever your situation may be. And as much as you may just want to focus on them being gone, there's something else going on. There's a reason why they left. It could be that they feel like they're being pulled out of the relationship by something, maybe a lifestyle choice or a job or an addiction or another person. The list goes on. Or they may feel like they are being pushed out of the relationship, maybe because of the way your relationship has been. Fighting, disrespect, loss of love and intimacy, feeling controlled. The list goes on there too. So the last thing you want to do if your spouse is leaving or has left is to make anything worse. So while I'm not going to give you word for word what not to say, or perhaps what not to say again, if you've already done any of these things, I am going to share with you what kinds of things you should avoid saying if your spouse is thinking about leaving or has already left. But before I dive in, be sure to subscribe to our channel. We are constantly releasing the newest, most up-to-date, and most relevant relationship information that actually works. And we love our subscribers. By the way, my name is Kimberly Holmes. I'm the CEO here at Marriage Helper, and I'm excited to dive in deeper to this topic with you. So let's start. Number 1, first, don't push. I've talked about this in a lot of other videos, especially my video that's titled Save Your Marriage While Separated, Do This. So be sure to watch that one next, where I go more into depth with this. But basically, when you don't do any pushing or push behaviors, you are wanting to avoid doing any behaviors that are actively pushing your spouse away. Crying, begging, pleading, yelling, and crying are natural reactions when we feel like we are losing someone that we love. But that doesn't mean that they are the best reactions for the long term. It might help us cope with our grief, and it's okay to do those things in private. But if we're trying to guilt our spouse into staying by doing what we at Marriage Helper call push behaviors, we're only going to push them out the door. You see, our hope is typically that our spouse will see how much pain they are causing us when we are doing these things and that they'll decide to stay. When in reality, that doesn't work. Why? A couple of years ago, we worked with a woman who told us, I followed my husband out to the driveway as he was leaving and started banging my head against the driveway until blood flowed like a river, and he still left. I don't mean to sound insincere. I really don't, but of course he did. She was acting crazy, and if he needed anything to help him solidify the decision that he needed to leave, and it was the right decision to do so, then that was it. As hard as it is, we need to react rationally and as unemotionally as we can. And this is hard. I am not saying that we don't feel the pain that is caused when our spouse wants to leave. Of course, we're going to have those emotions. It's going to cause a whirlwind of emotions, and it's perfectly normal and okay to feel those things. But it's when we start using our emotion as a tactic to try and get our spouse to stay or guilt them into not leaving that causes problems. You need to come across as strong and calm and gentle, even when the circumstances make you feel otherwise. Here's the second thing. Don't threaten or give ultimatums. Another temptation as your spouse is leaving or has left is to give them an ultimatum or to threaten to do something like file for divorce in order to get them to choose to stay. In a moment of hurt and anger, you're likely to want to say something to shock your spouse to get their attention so they won't leave. Saying something like, if you walk out that door, I'll never forgive you, or I'll never let you see the kids again, or I'll file for divorce, or I'll tell everyone what you've done. It's not going to lead them back into the house. It's just going to push them out the door quicker. And honestly, no one likes ultimatums. And what you are saying that you will do you actually want to do that? Most people who threaten divorce don't actually want to follow through with the filing. They say it in a moment of anger and weakness and hurt, but they don't mean it. So if you don't mean whatever it is you're saying that you will or won't do, then why say it? I'm sure you don't want to become a person who is known for not following through with what you say. Instead, you want to be calm and rational and think about what you say before you say it. There's no one phrase that is going to bring your spouse back or make them stay, so forget about trying to find it. Instead, focus on the long term. Just because a spouse leaves doesn't mean that they can't come back. They absolutely can. And it's not like the end of the world, although it may feel like it. So be sure to watch your words. Here's the third thing. Don't make empty promises. A lot of times when our spouse is leaving, we decide that we are going to make a bunch of promises of all the things that we are going to do differently in order to get them to stay. I'll be a better husband. I'll come home from work earlier. Or I'll be a better wife. I'll do more of what you're wanting me to do, or whatever it might be. We all of a sudden remember the things that our spouse may have said to us over the years that they needed or that they didn't like or that they wished we did differently. And all of a sudden, although we dismissed these things before for months or years, all of a sudden we decide that we will change whatever we need to in order to get our spouse to stay. Here's the thing to consider. Number one, do you actually agree that these are changes that you should make? Some are easy to answer. If your spouse has said that you're controlling and that you have been controlling, then that's probably a behavior you should change. But if your spouse has been, for example, wanting you to do things that go against your beliefs or are out of your comfort zone, like if they want to start swinging or be in an open marriage, then don't agree to that in order to get them to stay. And here's the second thing to consider. Are you actually going to make the changes? Most of the time, when someone gets to the point of being ready to leave, then you have probably said you would change things in the past, but never did. And your spouse doesn't actually believe that anything is going to change. So if you continue to make empty promises, especially now, then your spouse will continue to not believe you. Instead of making empty promises, actually start changing and show your spouse that you have changed. Make the changes permanent. Use this to make you a better person. So don't focus so much on the words to try and get your spouse to stay. Focus on changing your actions, changing your behaviors long-term that need to change in order to bring your spouse back. Here's the fourth thing. Don't bring up the past. In this moment, trying to remind your spouse of the things that they promised you. But we made vows, but you promised that you would always stay, that you would never leave, that you would never want to do to your kids what your parents did to you. Bringing those things up, or bringing up all of the things that they did to you in the past that you didn't leave them for. Either of those things won't make a difference. This is an emotional situation, and it does no good to try and use logic or past promises or past wrongs to correct the current circumstances. And here's the fifth thing. Don't follow them, track them, or hire someone else to do so. I know you want to. You want to follow them. You want to see where they're going. You want to break into their Facebook and email and Instagram, and you want to get your friends to track them or hire someone else to, and it would make for a really good reality TV. You want to call everyone you know and see if they know where he or she is, but don't. Why? There's lots of reasons, but here are the main two. Number one, if you're focusing on where your spouse currently is and what they are currently doing, you're focusing on the wrong thing. It's not what's happening right now that led to them leaving. It's what happened in the weeks, months, or years up to now. I'm not saying that you're the one to blame here, not at all. As I said before, there are many reasons someone wants to leave a marriage, and only half of them have anything to do with you. But it is also wise to be able to admit that no marriage is perfect and no person is a perfect spouse. I have definitely done the wrong things in my marriage, and I'm not going to lie to you. Even though I teach this, I'm not perfect every day. I still do and say stupid stuff to my husband. I still have to check myself on a daily basis and correct my wrongs. We all do. So focus on what you can do to become a better person, a better husband, a better wife. That is where your focus needs to be. And secondly, your spouse is not going to like it if they find out that you have been trying to track them or break into their accounts or do anything like that. It will make them even angrier, even more defensive, and they're going to feel like you've violated their privacy. And that's not going to help you in saving the relationship long term. So it's better to just avoid doing these things altogether. Instead of doing these things, the pushing, the threatening, the making empty promises, bringing up the past, or trying to track them, you want to do what you can to mitigate any further damage by stopping these things. That's step one. So stop doing any of these things if you have been doing them. And start using the things that we teach in our other videos, like working on your pies or implementing smart contact. You can see the links to those types of videos in the show notes below. And these aren't smart tips only for when your spouse is leaving. These are smart communication tips for life, in every situation, in every relationship. If your spouse is leaving or has left and you don't know what to do, we do. At Marriage Helper, this is the exact situation that we see on a day-to-day basis. If you feel like there is no hope, there is. We know. We've seen it happen literally thousands of times. We have workshops, online courses, and marriage coaching available for you. You can call our offices at 866-903-0990 and speak to the real people that we have on our team, or you can go to marriagehelper.com for more information and resources. So before you leave, be sure to subscribe to our channel and know this: you can bring your spouse back home and transform your relationship to be better than ever. We can teach you how. It won't happen overnight, and if it did, it wouldn't last. We can teach you how to fix your relationship so it will last and it will be better than ever.